News Live, and as we said in our short today, we would be talking about these mysterious drones. ABC News, they did a fact check on the drones, and they say they were not tracking missing radioactive material in New Jersey. Now, before I go into this was a broadcast or a release that was done yesterday. This story has been out now for about 4 days about these mysterious drones, some of them quite large, that have been flying over New Jersey. And there's been all kinds of speculation as to what they are, whose drones are there. There have been every kind of conspiracy you could imagine, everything from the Iranians having their drone ship off our coast, flying drones over here, to of course, even this one here about the radioactive material. But I got some information today that really kind of helped shed some light. And if it wasn't from the credible source that I know that it comes from, I wouldn't even be discussing this with you right now. But I was given the information from people that work with folks inside the Pentagon that these drones are, in fact, yes, they are. They're being used to try to track down some radioactive material. They have the technology on board to be able to track this type of material down. And of course, when I listened to this article here going on, and them saying that, oh, this was not really a drone, which, by the way, that is a jetliner coming in there. That's obvious there. That's not a drone, of course. But the thing is, there were a large number of these drones being spotted. They were being sighted there. You've seen all kinds of pictures and videos that have come out as a result, showing these different types of craft up in the sky, some of them looking like cars, etc., and all centered around this one area. Now, according to ABC, though, they said they did a fact check there, and in the report there, they claim that well, let me just play the part of the report here for you, just so you can hear for yourself what their claim is. Listen in.
Videos have been circulating online in connection with alleged sightings of mysterious drones over New Jersey and elsewhere in the United States. As authorities search for answers, ABC News has reviewed several videos of these supposed sightings and found that many of them seem to capture piloted aircraft, not drones. A resident of Woodbridge, New Jersey, caught on camera what he believed was a drone in the area at around 8 p.m. on the night of December 6th.
Yeah, low.
So you got it lower?
Yeah.
To understand what we are seeing in this video, our visual verification team pulled data from a publicly available flight tracker and found that a British Airways flight was descending below 3,000 feet at the same time this video was taken. The Boeing 777 was preparing to land at Newark International Airport.
Actually, the video that I had caught earlier that maybe it was not on here. Let's look at their article here, though. A theory that missing radioactive material in New Jersey could be linked to the string of mysterious drone sightings in the state has been disproving, according to the Department of Energy and related officials. The link between the alleged drone sightings and radioactive material stemmed from the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission issuing an alert on December the 5th that stated a piece of medical equipment used for cancer scans had been lost in transit 3 days prior. The mayor of Belleville, New Jersey, Michael Melham, further stoked these theories during an appearance on Fox TV's Good Day New York on Tuesday, saying of the drone sightings what they might be looking for. Maybe that's radioactive material. It was a shipment that arrived at its destination. The container was damaged and it was empty, Melham said. This shipping container in question, the department from Nassau Cancer Center in Newfield, New Jersey, contained an Eckert-Ziegler model HEGL0132 device that arrived at its destination damaged and empty, according to the U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission original notice. The device contains trace amounts of radioactive isotopes germanium-68, which is used as a radiation source for one of the cancer center's CAT scan machines. All right, so anyway, the point is they were saying that this is what got lost in a FedEx shipment. It was temporarily misplaced, the item. It was later found and delivered to the manufacturer. Now, I want to read to you, and I'd just like to be neutral on this whole issue here, but I do find this very interesting, what was shared with me earlier today. And let's just see here. Here we go here. Apparently, the U.S. outfitted with sniffing equipment. The material is low level, potentially medical equipment like x-ray machines, cylinders, or such. However, an entire load was stolen. And media is assisting in hiding this to avoid mass panic. A DB wouldn't likely harm tens of thousands, but more likely to be used at an upcoming public events where it could harm hundreds. Also likely tool to use to blame anyone of various foreign entities to push a war agenda. I did ask if this was information from people that we know, and of course I was assured that the information was coming from the East Coast. Obviously Washington, and that the answer to my questions were yes and yes to both. So it is allegedly someone inside the Pentagon that would know about this information. Now, it is, according to this, potentially medical equipment like x-ray machine cylinders or such. However, an entire load was stolen. Now, the article here in ABC claims that it was only missing. And that they did get this material back. I'm not sure how they do in dealing with that type of low-level radiation. I know that with nuclear plants, when they're moving like spent rods, things like that, or any type of radioactive contamination, it's done under armed guard escort. It's not done by a FedEx. But, you know, that may be different when it comes to these types of machines. I have dealt with MRI machines before, but they don't put out radiation, but of course CAT scans do. So I'm not really 100% sure, but I thought it was interesting, so I figured I would share that information with you just so you would be aware. There is conflicting opinions on this. Nonetheless, I was told, though, that the drones are U.S. military-made drones and not the ones where people get all excited. I think that's kind of funny how ABC takes and they put up where people have videoed an airplane coming in and try to make light of it. That seems to also show that they're trying to overshadow what the real issue may be going on here, because when you're trying to make it look like everybody that filmed these drones, because I did see some of the early footage initially, no, it was hovering, it's not an aircraft flying in, so them trying to make fun of people in the way they did, I think is a little bit inappropriate in this case here. Don't say that everything that ABC does is like that, but then again, you know, I think they're trying to remain neutral regardless, we'll say, in the matter. It's not like that I don't think they're trying to intentionally be dubious, but sometimes, though, the government does request media, though, to try to downplay something so that there is not a panic made with the public. So in that regard there, I could respect maybe what ABC is trying to do in their reporting on this issue here. Also, too, I want to share with you that Israel, they had a bunch of sirens going off today, some damage there from incoming missiles from Yemen. I know at least one that they show there, this one here flying in. They say we're coming in really fast. Not really. They're coming in about an average speed there, but that one doesn't seem to be intercepted by the Iron Dome, most likely because it landed in the sea, especially when you're dealing with Tel Aviv. A lot of times it'll look like that they are going to hit, but then they end up going in the sea, and therefore the Iron Dome does not intercept those type missiles there. We did get a great news here. AIPAC was defeated today. The Anti-Semitism Awareness Act and Countering Anti-Semitism Act has been voted down in favor of free speech there. And really and truly, there is no need, because they wanted to criminalize Bible references. They wanted to criminalize in criticism of Israel. and to the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, and to the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. So they voted no on all 4 accounts there. So that is a wonderful thing to find out. I'm not for anti-Semitism per se when it comes to, people trying to attack people just because they're Jewish, things like that. I don't believe that that's right. But when Israel comes into our country and they're trying to say that we can't quote the Bible, you can't quote what Jesus says because they consider Jesus's comments anti-Semitic, that's really going way too far. And sadly to say, I'm afraid, though, that when Trump comes into office and they're able to control both houses, these type bills will end up passing, and you will find out you will no longer be free in this nation to speak. It will be a totalitarian state is what we will end up becoming. This here, I think I'm going to come back to this here last here for you. I'd like for you to see it. I can't really comment. I can only play it for you, but I think you'll find that interesting. But I do want to play here. This was just live a few minutes ago. Foreign Minister Lavrov at the Doha forum there speaking, and the British journalist that was questioning him, I don't think he was very happy with Foreign Minister Lavrov because the man just speaks his mind, just speaks his opinion, and I appreciate some of the things he says. But listen to him a little bit as he talks about Syria. He goes into Ukraine quite a bit as well.
People see in the person of the Russian Federation, or me personally, but we are very concerned with the fate of the Syrian people. We don't want them to follow the fate of Iraqis, of Libyans, and of other nations who were disturbed by the people desiring to keep their domination.
The Russian embassy in Damascus is now urging Russian nationals to leave Syria. Does that mean that you believe that Assad may not be able to cling on to power? And if that is the case, are you going to try and save him this time?
Well, the Western embassies in Kyiv some time ago suggested for their nationals to leave. The embassies in South Korea are doing the same. It's a diplomatic job. I understand that you need some sensation in your interview. It's diplomatic job. You have, as journalists, to care about facts. I have, among other things, to care about my compatriots.
Understood, but the sensation surely is the fact that so much of the territory of Syria has been lost in such a short period of time. Do you think Assad can hold on? And what is Russia going to do militarily?
Militarily, Russia helps the Syrian army with the air force, which is based at Khmeimim, and we help the Syrian army to counter the attacks of terrorists. What is the forecast? I cannot guess. We are not in the business of guessing. We agreed today with Iran and Turkey to issue a strong call, which I described, and we would be doing some specific steps to make sure that this call is heeded.
You say that Russia has been helping the Syrian military. It clearly has. Are you not frustrated then that it seems in many cases the Syrian military just ran away? It's a bit like when the Taliban took over Afghanistan in 2021, is it not?
Well, the Americans have been leaving Afghanistan even more safely, I think. If you want me to try to give my assessment of who behaves how and how this is perceived outside, then this is your right. You are interviewing me, and I think I gave my advice. It seems, however, that you are doing everything to avoid coming to Ukraine.
I will come to Ukraine, but I definitely want to talk about the issue.
I like that. You have to listen to the entire interview. I'll try to, after we finish our live broadcast here, I'll go back and place this interview in the description box there for you to come back and listen to this interview. It is very insightful, especially when he gets into Ukraine. I find that interesting. Also, you may want to watch the interview that Yana and myself did with Mike Adams, the Health Ranger report there. on his program, Brighteon. Very insightful interview there. And we really enjoyed being on with Mike there. I'll play a little portion for you.
Laws are re-signed every single year by every single president. Doesn't matter if they are Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. So every year on the birthday of Nixon, 10 rabbis or
Well, I guess we got to hear the dog alarm go off there, so I'll kind of pause it right there. So far, well, we've gotten about 8,500 views on Mike Adams there. We do go into the Noahide laws. We're talking about Israel acting more like an apartheid state than the way they should. We talk about the fall of Syria. Very interesting broadcast there, and we certainly appreciate Mike Adams tremendously. So wanted to just share these things here with you there, and tell you have a blessed evening. And we've had a lot of sickness going on here lately in the family, so keep us in your prayers. We certainly appreciate it. God bless you, and thank you for listening. I'm Stephen Benoon with Israeli News.